Williams here, president of Turnkey Parlor. We buy and sell ice cream machines. Today we're going to be doing a sensor or thermistor change on this machine, a Taylor C723 Crown Series. And we're going to, the left hopper, when you look at the temperature reading, is not reading properly. It says 107 degrees. Obviously it's not 107 degrees. So we're going to change that sensor, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to use a Taylor X82397-SER. It's a universal thermistor service kit. Okay, not super expensive. So let's take the next step. Next step is to remove this control panel. Okay, you got little screws there and a little screw there, and then 3 screws in the front that you just have to loosen. You have to remove the ones on the sides, but you only have to loosen these, and then the thing will pop off. Once you pop this control panel off, okay, there's that USB and those 2 there, okay? I don't know what they're called, but you're basically pulling this guy out and this guy out. Okay, those 2. And then this USB. Okay, pull those 3 out. These kind of plug in like this, back in like that. Okay, so they're kind of in the same order. And then you got the USB here. Okay, and then you can put this away for a minute. And then you're looking at the whole control panel area, okay? And when they go back, they're gonna go back in like this, just the way they're kind of set up, okay? And then this guy has to go back in that USB, okay? We're gonna be looking at the left hopper, okay? That's the sensor that we gotta replace. So this is where the left hopper, the right hopper's over here, and this is kind of dirty inside. People never clean the inside of these. And so before we ship this machine, obviously we're gonna test it all and clean it. But this is the hopper thermistor for the left side. We're basically gonna pull this out, okay? Put the new one in, and then it kind of feeds through. We're gonna take this panel off, and we're gonna feed that thermistor, the new one, through. We're gonna unhook, get the old one out. And when we put this thermistor in there, we're gonna hook it up properly, and then we'll be done, okay? So I just pulled the thermistor out of the bag, okay? This side here, okay, with that piece there, that stays on there, okay, that's the probe, all right? This is going to go and replace this one, okay? There's a little zip tie thing there that we're going to cut off so that we can pull this thermistor out. And then there's a replacement zip tie in here. You see it? There's the zip tie with the thing that kind of keeps it secure against this wall here. Okay, so it's out of the way. So you're going to take this thermistor out, and we're gonna plug this thermistor in. When we pull this thermistor out, we're gonna measure the distance of how much pulls out of there. We're gonna basically know that, okay, it came out here, we can mark it, and then we're gonna measure the distance of how deep that thermistor was, and then we're gonna say here, okay, it started about here, and that's where how far we should push in, okay? So you got to kind of see how, hold your thumb here or your finger when you pull it out, and then measure that and try and get the same measurement, because this probe, you want it to end up around the same of where the bad probe is. Okay, so I just removed the zip tie that was securing the barrel sensor. It was a little zip tie thing that sticks in there and kind of keeps this against, just like that, secure from pulling out. If you would have seen how long that took me and how hard it was for me, you would have had a good laugh at my expense. Should have been a lot easier, but I'm glad I didn't video it. So now we're going to pull this out and we're going to measure how much came out, and then we're going to put the new one in there. So I got a little more light on it. Just be careful when you're pulling out the zip tie that you don't hit any other wiring. But now I'm pulling out the sensor, okay? And I'm keeping my fingers here to measure how much I pulled out. Okay, so I saved that little red sleeve that was on the other sensor. The new sensor didn't come with it, so I'm thinking that I could just use this one again, and it kind of keeps it in place along with the zip tie. So we're going to go ahead and put this probe into here, roughly to about that little blue mark that I made there. Okay, we just removed that electrical panel cover. So now we're going to go down here. These skinny black and yellow wires are the thermistors, or the sensors, okay? So this bottom one is the right side, okay? And the first two terminals are the barrels on the right side, or the barrel on the right side. You got two wires, a black and a yellow, okay? And then black and yellow for the hopper, okay? Terminals 3 and 4, I call them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you got 4 terminals in there, little screws that you loosen and then stick the wire in there. Okay, the sensor wire. And this is for the right side, way down here. Okay, and when you unplug it, if you have the machine on and you have it in current conditions, or even not in current conditions, if you unplug this, it'll say open and start beeping on the right side. It'll say right side open. So you know you've got the right side. If you pull this, and that's the side you need to replace the sensors on, if you pull this out, you'll know at least that you've got the right side that you're working on. And then you move up a little bit up here to where next to this ribbon, okay? So you're working next to the ribbon on the bottom for the right side, and then you're working, there's a middle ribbon there, right there, that's got the same black and yellow wires going in it, into the this little thing with the screws in it, okay? This ribbon is a little bit in the way, but you'll pull this out if you're working on the left side, which is the one we're working on today, okay? And so you're gonna pull this out, and you're gonna remove the bad sensor, and you're gonna replace with the 2 black and yellow wires that we're gonna bring down from the sensor we're putting in up there, and we're gonna feed it through here and down through this grommet hole, okay? And then into here, and we're gonna plug in the new wires and get rid of the old wires, okay? So I just told you how down here, we're gonna pull out one of those, one of these guys, okay? And we're gonna see which side we're on when we pull that, okay? So I'm gonna plug these guys back in, okay? And you plug them back in just the way, okay? Trying to do this with one hand and hold the phone, it's not easy. And I'm not very technical to begin with. Okay, so we got those 2 in there. And then I'm gonna put the USB back in there, okay? And then I'm gonna power the machine on. Starts beeping. You basically hit that. I'm gonna hit the power switch, okay? So you see right there, it says hopper 180 degrees and 75 degrees. So room temperature 75 degrees, so this side's working fine. The thermistor on this side is bad, okay? So we're gonna pull this here out. let's pull this ribbon just to make it easier. We're gonna pull that ribbon out. Let's see what that did. Okay, hopper over short, so it doesn't like that, obviously. But I'm gonna pull this one out, which is the left side. And then I'm gonna put these back in and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got those ribbons back in and I think I could pull this one out a little easier now. Okay, so it's out and you hear it beeping. Let's go see which side it is. Left barrel thermal fail, okay? So we're on, it says hopper open on the left side. 75 is still, we know this side is good. Left side says open. So what we just did right there was we see now that this is left side because it's saying open. If we pulled this side out, where it says 75 degrees would say open. So we know we're gonna change it on the left side now, and we've confirmed that before we do it and get the wrong side, which would be a nightmare. Okay, so now we have the thermistor in there, inside for the hopper, okay, the left side hopper. And then we're basically feeding this wire through here and down into the, where we're gonna rewire the thermistor, okay? Again, this machine's a little dirty, obviously, but you're gonna use a screwdriver to kind of pry this channel open a little bit so you could stick the thermistor through there and then feed it through that grommet hole there, okay? And then once it's there, you can come into the harness. So this view is a little bit better. You'll see the barrel yellow is terminal number 1, black is terminal number 2, and then these two with that little extra red piece, which is nice to have, but we're not gonna use those. We're just gonna go direct wire into yellow into 3, black into 4. So basically we came down this channel, okay, from up there, through that hole, down this channel here. So it's inside there, and then we bring it through this grommet hole, okay? So pulling it all the way through, kind of sewing it through, okay? And now we're gonna rewire these guys into the appropriate thing, which is this one, okay? The first two are for the hoppers, and the second two are for the barrel, okay? Actually, I got that backwards. The first two are for the barrel, the second two, the number 3 and 4. So 1 and 2 are for barrel, for the cylinder. 3 and 4 are for the hoppers, okay? And we're changing the left side hopper. This is the left side. And these are the wires that are gonna go into 3 and 4, okay? You just look at the other ones and how they're wired, and that also tells you, okay? Pretty easy. Okay, so there's loose wire here that we're gonna zip tie and organize with the rest of them here in a minute. That's the last step that you wanna do, just to not leave this dangling, okay? When you plug this harness back in, make sure that you're gonna have 2 open terminals on the left. If you can see in there, you start, those are the first 2 that are open terminals, and then you plug in it in the last 4, okay? Same thing down here. You'll see you got 2 open terminals, and the positioning is in the next 4 plugs that you put in the harness, okay? So we've safely got these in there in positions 3 and 4 for the left side hopper, okay? And now we're gonna go turn the machine on and see if we got it right. Okay, so I just powered the machine back on. We're initializing. We just hit the select key. Pretty much you hit the select key till the thing starts beeping. And then we look and see, and there we go, 77 and 77. So both hoppers are at room temperature. Successful at changing the thermistor. This is a Taylor C723. They're all a little bit different, but the basics are the same on changing sensors and thermistors. Okay, sensor is just another word for thermistor. And so we're just gonna kind of do some cleanup work with this, zip tie it, get it in here with the other wires organized, and then we're ready to roll.